All right, so thank you everyone for coming. I think most of you know me, so I won't give too much of a backstory. I'm seeing on who's here. But essentially, I got into the world of health and mindfulness when I was 17. I had a concussion that kind of set me back a few steps and made me really reevaluate my own health. As at the time, I was a state swimmer, and it kind of put that out of whack, so I had to figure out another way. And at that time, someone had recommended yoga. And so that yoga led to meditation, which led to psychology, nutrition, neuroscience, just kind of went down the whole rabbit hole of health, which ultimately brought me to where I am today. So it was a blessing in disguise, but basically I'm 26 and a half now. So the past 9.5 or so years has been really a health journey of trying to heal myself, and meditation has been an integral part of that. Obviously, having some brain trauma, that's something that meditation is great for healing. So what I like to start with is just talking about why we meditate. Because it's great to know how to meditate, and it's great to meditate, but if you don't know why you're doing it, kind of like, what's the point? You're not going to stick to it. So actually, Zach, who's in here, was the one that reminded me of a video called Start With Your Why. It's a TED Talk. So I actually watched that this morning, which I figure that's a great place to start. So why I meditate personally, it helps me ground myself. It helps me feel more clear and level-headed. I think it's easy to be reacting to all the chaos that's going on right now. It's easy to kind of be emotionally driven, emotionally charged while it's going on. So I find this is a great way to just take a step back and calm ourselves and not really react, but really give that space to choose how we react. So I found that it's really been helpful for my sleep as well. So when I was in college and late high school, it's been pretty bad insomnia. Whether that was a result of the concussion, I don't know. But this was something that really helped me. I listened to either guided meditation, meditation music, or just my own meditation before going to bed. And that helped me really kind of transition from the waking go, go, go to kind of a smooth sail into sleep. So it really helped with insomnia for me. So that's a great thing for anyone who's dealing with that. I think the most obvious one is stress relief. So obviously, as I said, we're in this go, go, go world. This is a great time to take a step back and really focus on finding that inner peace wherever we are. And this is something we can do anywhere. I do it on trains, I do it on buses, I do it on planes, and I'm sure the people in that little tight plane are looking at me sometimes. I'm just in my little zone like, is this guy sleeping? What's this guy doing? But it's a great thing you can do really anywhere. And there's so many different forms of meditation. So I'm going to share one with you today. So there's no real right or wrong way to meditate. It's just a matter of listening to your body and really giving yourself that time to be disconnected from technology. I think is at its basic core is just be with yourself for a little bit. And so, as I mentioned, this is also a great way to help heal the brain. So you think of your brain as it has muscles in there, and you think of your brain as a muscle, that this is training our brain to really help increase the strength of those neural pathways, neurotransmitters, all that's going on in our brain. It's really just helping to give us a nice charge. So I feel like that in and of itself, to me, makes this worth it if you don't care about the stress relief or the sleep or the emotional resilience or any of that type of stuff. So that is the basis of why I do it personally. A lot of people also say it helps with concentration, helps enter that athletic zone because you're becoming very present. And a lot of the greatest players in sports, like think of Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, was a big meditator. He'd always say, like, I attribute a lot of my success to meditation because I could really zone in. I wasn't worried about what was happening later. I wasn't worried about what happened in the past. I knew this play that I'm on right now is what matters. So that's something that really stuck with me as I love playing basketball, was thinking about that. I was like, all right, well, this can help me with sports, especially like things like swimming, where that was my best sport. I was like, well, this might be a worthwhile endeavor. So whatever your reason is, find your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you dedicating to this? Because like anything, this is a skill, and you can't expect to pick up a guitar and play the most difficult song instantly. So this is a way to train yourself. It's a way to train our mind, our body, and just really increase that connection that we have within the mind and body. So without further ado, we're going to dive into the meditation and do a quick, probably do 10-15 minute little guided meditation. So basically the method that I use is kind of a compilation of different methods that I've used over the years. So what I like to call like the passive observer meditation. So essentially we're not trying to control our thoughts. We're not judging our thoughts, labeling our thoughts, anything. We're just observing them passively. So as they come up, they're there. That's cool. Don't attach to them. We're not saying, no, no, no. We're not trying to suppress our thoughts. We're letting them come up and we're letting them go out. And we're just kind of watching them. So we're sitting there passively observing. So whenever you're ready, you can find a comfortable seated position. Preferably you want to have your spine straight. Maybe you have some back support. I'm in a chair right now. I like to be cross-legged on the floor with some back support. I think that does help when I haven't meditated as often as I'd like to. So find that comfortable seated position. Support the low back if you want to. And again, you can even be doing this on the couch. It doesn't have to be the perfect full lotus position with your hands up like a Himalayan monk on top of a mountain. Just wherever you're comfortable. And then when you're ready, you can either soften the gaze or close the eyes. I prefer to close the eyes as our eyes use so much energy throughout the day, especially staring at screens, driving, anything that's narrow concentration. And then you start to tune into the breath. So we'll do a few deep breaths together. So breathing in fully through the nose, looking to fill up the belly, 2/3 belly, 1/3 chest, holding when full, and letting go. And then pausing at the empty, and then breathing in, holding, and letting go. And pausing on the empty. So we'll do 3 more at your own pace, breathing in, try to be mindful of that pause after the inhale and after the exhale, and just notice how it feels to stop when you're full of air and when you're empty of air. So we'll do 1 more together, breathing in and letting go. So even right now, just notice with those few breaths, notice what's shifted. Maybe feel a little tingling in the eyes or on the forehead as your face and eyes are trying to relax. Maybe feel in the hands or feet. Maybe you just feel calm. Maybe feel tired. Maybe feel energized. So just note. Again, we're not judging, we're not labeling, but just observe. And then wherever you are, just start to tap in to that stillness. A still mind is a still body. And remember, thoughts are going to pop up. Our objective here is not to stop them or suppress them or label them as bad or even good. They're just there. And I like to think of my thoughts as a wave on the beach. So our thoughts come up, they rise unobstructed, they peak, and then they crash and they dissipate. So sometimes visualizing waves crashing on the beach can help me, or just thinking of the thoughts as a wave to transition into that place of stillness. If you feel yourself diving into your thoughts, just come back to the breath. So the breath can serve as the anchor. Anytime you find yourself diving down the rabbit hole of thoughts, just return to that breath we started with. So I think this is always a good time that I try to use to remind myself that it's okay to do nothing. It's okay to step back. There tends to be a lot of pressure to be doing more, being more, creating more. And this is just a good reminder that sometimes the best thing you can do is to do less and just exist and just be as we are. And again, if you drift into thoughts, just return to the breath, not judging ourselves for doing so, recognizing that these thoughts are natural, and we're just here to observe. Now I want you to shift your awareness to the top of your head and slowly start scanning down the body, just checking in with yourself, noticing how you feel again, without judgment, without labeling. Just noticing, are there areas that you may need to give some more attention to? Maybe the eyes are tired, maybe the jaw is tight, maybe the neck is tight, the shoulders. Check in with the chest and upper back, down the arms, the ribs, the lower back and belly, forearms, hands and wrists, down the tips of the fingers, to the hips, front of the legs, the back of the legs, down into the knees, the calves and shins, to the ankles and feet, all the way down to the toes. Now do one quicker scan, just top to bottom, and just, again, recognizing areas that may need a little extra love and attention. Now let's find 3 minutes of stillness and silence. And just remember, tuning into the breath if you dive down the rabbit hole of thoughts. So now let's return to the breath like we started, breathing in through the nose, filling up the belly, then the chest, holding for a moment, and letting go. Maybe you let out a nice sigh as you exhale. And then pausing at the empty before breathing in again. And let's do a few of these at our own pace. And try letting out the sigh. Just notice that release that it gives you. It's very easy to stifle our emotions, to hold on to things and suppress. So I find that letting out that sigh, that audible sigh, is a great way to really let go of some of that stress and that tension through expression. We tend to not express ourselves enough. So let's practice some expression here, some release with those deep sighs. So breathing in, holding, and letting go. All right, let's do two more together. So breathing in, letting go. And last one, on this one, let out a nice full sigh on the exhale. So breathing in, hold, and let go. And then slowly start to move your fingers and toes, coming back into the body. Maybe stretching out the neck if it feels a little tight. Tapping into those areas that when we're scanning seem like they need a little extra attention. And don't force any stretches. Just be very gentle with ourselves. Let's just take a minute to return, giving our body whatever it needs. All right. How are we feeling? Give me a thumbs up if you feel good. All right. That's what I like to see. So, as I mentioned to begin with, meditation is like anything, it's a skill. So, if this was very difficult for you, that's normal. You're not a bad meditator. You're not someone who can't meditate. You just need to practice. And in total, that was about 15 or so minutes. So you don't even need to start with that much. You can start with 3 minutes a day. And really, the power comes from consistency. And if you're just committing to 3 minutes a day, that can completely change everything. So if you're starting off your day with meditation, you're going to be more relaxed going through the day, more grounded, more calm. Maybe when you get to work, which is not the best example right now, let's say you're interacting with someone that tends to annoy you. Now, from this new grounded, calm state, you may be able to interact with them in a more compassionate, kind way, as opposed to that emotional, reactive pattern that we find ourselves in. So the key here is consistency. So I would invite you all to dedicate, even if it's just 3 minutes a day of finding a stillness and silence, whether you use this form of meditation or any other, and try to add that to a morning or evening routine or a lunch break. Whatever you can do that's the same around the same time every day, I find that's the easiest way to really commit to a practice. So I tend to enjoy doing it in the mornings nowadays. I feel like it helps me transition out of sleep into waking. So that's kind of been my recent practice. But again, maybe it helps you with sleep, or maybe you just need that recharge in the middle of the day. So whatever works for you, there's no right or wrong way to do it. And there's some little tips and tricks that I like to use to help myself in meditation. So there's some guided apps you can get, like Headspace is one that I've used in before. You can get binaural beats, which it's basically like no words, and it's music that kind of helps get you into that deep state. And then I have some guided meditation videos on my YouTube channel, so you can check those out as well. And there's plenty of other people on YouTube that you can find guided meditation. So whatever works for you, or maybe you just enjoy the silence. So play around with a few of them, see which one you like best, and then just commit to that. Say, all right, I'm going to do this for 30 days. I'm going to do this for 3 weeks, or however long your commitment is. Just make that commitment and just do it 3 minutes a day. That's it. That's not that much of our day. Was that like less than 1%? I think we can all give 3 minutes to ourselves whenever we find that to be the best time. And again, I like to have my back supported when I haven't been meditating a lot. So I'd say maybe a chair, if you can sit cross-legged in the chair, or seated regular or on the couch somewhere that your back is supported, just so that we're not getting tired and our back isn't aching. Just to get started, we want to get in the habit of meditation first. And then again, I like having a cushion to sit on. Maybe Zach has a candle. I like candles, incense. Sometimes one of my meditations is just staring at the flame. It's like when you have a bonfire, or a little campfire rather, and you're staring at it. That's a form of meditation. You're focusing on one object. So there's so many different ways to meditate that as I said, it's really about finding what you want to do. And so I think another thing that I enjoyed doing before as we started is doing a little stretch before. Because if our body is tight and we're feeling like, I can move this, adjust this, it's going to be much more difficult to sit in stillness if our body is feeling like it has some needs that need to be met. So I always like to do a light stretch before, just to get my body into that stillness and help the mind and body connect. And for like a mind that's all jumbled, sometimes I'll do some journaling or writing, something to get it out of my head. So whatever your body needs, try the journaling before, try the moving before, and at the end of the day, I just invite you to commit to that practice of 3 minutes a day, and I can definitely say it's changed my life, and I hope it changes yours as well. So thank you all for coming. We have a few minutes left. If anyone has any questions, I'd like to open that up to you, whatever questions you have, or any suggestions that maybe you use that other people could benefit from. So if you want to share or ask a question, feel free to unmute and share away.
Rob, I noticed my like I'm sitting cross-legged, and I always have this issue. My legs tend to go numb really easily. Do you think sitting on, maybe I wasn't sitting on anything like a cushion, would you think that would help? Or I just always find like my feet will go numb, and I just can't like get them to do you have any recommendation for that?
Yeah, I would say the cushion would be a good idea, or maybe sitting on the couch with your legs out in front of you so they're not crossed, and playing around with that.
Right.
It could also be if your hips or knees or ankles or feet are tight, there might just be a blockage of blood flow. Then when you cross, it's making it even more difficult to get that blood flowing.
Right.
So, I mean, I think you better than anyone can massage yourself. So I'd say do some self-massage, and just play around. Again, just play around with, like, maybe try a little self-massage before, or maybe try sitting with your legs out in front of you on the couch.
Yeah.
I did a lying down meditation today. I did a 20-minute lying down because I was tired. I woke up much earlier than expected this morning, like 4:45, because it was hot. So I did a meditation around 10 a.m. and that's what my body needed, lying down.
Yeah.
And I like to do that like on my yoga mat, so not on a bed, because otherwise you'll fall asleep.
Right.
So yeah, you could try lying down on the couch or doing a little more mobility / massage before.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I always have a pillow when like a cushion helps a lot for me.
Nice.
Awesome. What else? We got 1 more minute, time for one more question. If anyone got, or else I'll close it off.
How do you get out of like the judgment of, so like when I was doing the body scan, I would get stuck on like, oh, my neck hurts. Oh, why does my neck hurt? Like, how do you get out of the judgment?
Sometimes I feel like it's helpful to have a journal next to me, because again, there's no right or wrong way to meditate. So if my neck is bothering me, sometimes I'll write down like, oh, neck stiffness, or just something, not like I'm writing out a whole sentence to take me out of it, just like neck. So I know, all right, let's go back to the neck after. Then I can, again, get out of my head and stop thinking about it. So And a lot of that also just comes with practice, I think, as well as recognizing, oh, my neck gets tight when I meditate. I'm going to stretch my neck before. So a lot of it is just kind of practicing, getting more in tune with the body and really creating that mind-body relationship.
Thanks.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all showing up and spending your Thursday evening with me. Anthony, I appreciate you staying up till 1:30 a.m. in France.
Wow.
So that's dedication that I truly appreciate.
Yeah.
As I mentioned to you, I'll definitely do some in the morning here. So it'll be more on your hour. I had someone else from Portugal who wanted to join, but she was like, yeah, I'll be asleep. So thank you for coming and showing up. As I said, I appreciate that. And I'll start putting up some earlier meditations as well if you're interested in that. And as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, or if you have my cell number or email, whatever is best, Whole Health Connections, you search that and you can find me. So thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you,
Anthony, go
Rob.
to sleep.
Rob, really appreciate
And,
it.
see you soon.
Great connecting.
Namaste.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.